Now we are going to learn about Thomas Young's double slit experiment. Here, this is a very primitive experiment performed by Thomas Young in 1801. He was the first one who demonstrated the interference of light. Okay, so here he is using two slits in a single opaque sheet. Two holes are made. These two holes, they are called as slits. Slit number 1 and slit number 2. That's why this is called as double slit experiment. Here one source is kept, real source is kept, therefrom the light is emitted. The two holes, the two slits are illuminated by the light. Preferably it should be a monochromatic light. A single colored lamp or light must be used. So therefrom the light is emitted. Now after incidence, what will happen now? Through these two slits, the light is basically propagating through these two slits. It is passing through the two slits, and this one will act as one of the coherent sources. The another slit also acts as one of the coherent sources. Now the light from the first slit and the light from the second slit, both are having basically the following properties. Both are having the same amplitude, same wavelength, same frequency. They may have same phase. Sometimes they may have the constant phase difference, and they may have the same waveform also. So the light ray from the first hole, first slit, light from the second slit, both of them, they will act as the coherent source. Now both are traveling in this direction. The light from the second one also traveling in this direction. Now light from the first one and light from the second one, both are superposing in this region. Make a note, in this region alone the interference takes place. Superposition that takes place. Due to superposition, what will happen now depends on the phase difference and path difference. Here the interference pattern that can be seen on the screen. How the interference pattern is, look at that. Here with respect to this position, here central bright band is created now. Let us imagine this point is called as P. Are you clear? From S1 and S2, that point P is located equidistant from both S1 and S2. Are you clear? The light ray travels from S1, the light ray travels from S2. Both are superposing here, both are traveling with the same distance. So P must be the equidistance point. So the light ray from S1 and S2, when they are interfering, they won't have any phase difference. So because of lack of phase difference, the phase difference is 0 and path difference is 0, central bright band will appear at the center of the interference pattern. Don't forget, in Young's double slit experiment, the central bright band will be the maximum one. The intensity of the central bright band will be maximum. On either side of the central bright band, you can observe the dark band. The dark band can be called as first minimum. This one should be called as first minimum. This one also must be called as first minimum, or we can call it as first dark fringe, first dark band. Later you can see the first bright band. On either side you can observe the first bright band. Okay. So here this one can be called as first maxima. These two can be called as first maxima. This is called as second maxima. This is called as this is called as first minima. Are you clear? I will explain again. This is called central maxima. This is called as first minima. First minima. These two are called first minima. This is called as first maxima. These two are called first maxima. This is called as second minima. So like that we can name them. Okay. So a set of dark fringe and bright fringes, they are able to be seen on the surface of the screen. They are all highly microscopic. They can be observed only with the help of the microscopes. With the help of ordinary eye, we are not able to see them. They are very, very thin lines. Are you clear? Fringes are very thin lines. Look at the region here. Here the light from A alone, light from the S1 alone, it falls. Therefore this region will be fully illuminated by this light. So here you are not able to observe any pattern, fringe pattern, interference pattern. Here also this portion is illuminated by the light which comes from S2. So this region is full of bright region. There is no interference pattern. Interference pattern will contain only the alternative bright and dark regions, dark bands. Okay. Now, if any one of the, look at that, if any one of the slit is closed, look at that, if any one of the slit is closed, what will happen? The entire region will be fully illuminated. You can't see any interference pattern, interference fringes. It shows that these interference pattern, this is purely because of the superposition of the light wave which comes from S1 and S2. Are you clear? You have to understand that these fringes, they are created only because of the constructive interference of the two light wave or destructive interference of the two light wave. Wherever the bright fringes are created, here constructive interference is taking place. Wherever the dark regions are created, dark fringes are created, there these two waves, they are interfering. Due to destructive interference, these dark regions are created. Understand? Here other measurements must be clearly known. To perform this experiment, clear, we should know the parameters of the various lengths. Here, this is the screen. These two are called coherent sources. Distance between the coherent source and the screen must be wider, lengthy. So it should be around 1 meter. And then the hole, the width of the hole, slit must be around 0.03 meter. Distance between these two coherent sources must be around d is equal to small d is equal to 0.3 meter. Make a note, this distance between these two coherent sources must be represented by the letter small d. Distance between the screen and the coherent source must be represented by capital D. Are you clear? Later we are going to measure the bandwidth. Here the width of the band is called bandwidth, that is represented by the letter beta. Are you clear? So here a single source, therefrom the light is splitted. Light is divided. Are you clear? That's why this is called as double slit experiment. It's a very primitive experiment performed by Thomas Young. Are you clear? So by varying the parameter, look at that way, by varying the parameter here, either by decreasing the d or by increasing the d, so clear, we can vary the bandwidth. Here, provided you have, here you have to use the monochromatic light. Are you clear? Either you can use sodium vapor lamp or any other colored lamp can be used. If you use sodium vapor lamp, for example, sodium vapor lamp, it emits yellow region, no? That if yellow light is used, in this bright brand regions, yellow color will appear. The rest of the portion, dark region will be there. If blue light is used, if blue color sourced monochromatic light is used, in this bright region, blue color light will be appearing. So here, provided you have to use the monochromatic light, that is very important. So it's a very fundamental thing. You should know, is clear, about the basic idea about Young's double slit experiment. So in the next derivation, the next part, we are going to derive about the derivation for the bandwidth. What should be the expression for to calculate the bandwidth of each band? Are you clear? That is the next portion. There I will be deriving the bandwidth for each band. Okay.